Hey guys, Chaos50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe rolling Vise Stamp from Kamen Revice. This is a special Vise Stamp / weapon used by Kamen Revice to get a new power-up form. So, let's get started. First up, we'll take a look at the rolling Vise Stamp on its own. So of all these stamps thus far, this is the one that can least be really called a stamp because it's mainly an ink roller. Basically playing off the idea that stamps use ink and kind of making use of that in a different way. Now it does still have a stamp part at the bottom. You can see the symbol there, which can be pressed. You have lights right there, which, though hard to tell here, are supposed to resemble Vice's eyes. And so for the whole thing, it's mainly done up in this clear black plastic, though for some parts it has a black and blue marbling, even further, getting with that whole Vice color scheme. Got the handle here with a nice metallic blue, some splotches of paint on the front face, and similar to Barded Rex, it also has a Vise Stamp scanner on top. Got the trigger here, and then the back with the handle, of course, includes batteries. You have the scanner bit with the QR code, of course. So outside of using with the belt, there are some sounds it can make. Of course, obviously being a weapon, it have attacking sounds. Or at least one main attacking sound. It also will make a rolling sound if you spin the roller. And if you press and hold the trigger, you get a few phrases from Vice. And finally, after rolling the stamper or pressing the trigger, if you press the stamp portion, that's what activates the standby noise. Next, we'll use the rolling Vise Stamp with the Revice driver for the transformation. And there we have the transformation into Kamen Rider Jack Revice. And yes, if it looked like I was struggling to find where the railing goes to put the stamp on the belt, that's because I was. It is actually kind of tricky when it's a very non-standard shape, and it's a very specific spot where the actual railing is. But now we have the complete belt with the symbol over here, and the stamp over here. And as you can tell, it is quite oversized. In fact, it might be bigger than the buckle itself, just from a cursory glance. Now from here, we can do a couple of special attacks. First is the basic finisher. Which is the rolling stamping finish. Then we have the remix, or Nuri Nu remix. And so we have the remix attack. There's also another way to activate the remix attack by pushing the button and then removing the rolling Vise Stamp from the belt. And the final attack we can do is one that's done by spinning the roller 3 times in succession. That being the Rolling Rider Punch. Next, we can also use other Vise Stamps with the Rolling Vise Stamp, which is done by simply taking a Vise Stamp and then lining it up so that this part matches up with this part here. So that activates the Rex Energy painting finish. Now we can do it with others, and what you'll see is that the light color here changes to match up with the light color of the stamp. For another example, here's Mammoth. However, the matching eyes only works for the main 10 Vise Stamps. For anything outside of that, like say the Bata Vise Stamp, it just gives a generic white light. And I'm just showing off these because it would be pretty redundant and impractical to show off all 10 just for one attack that does the same sounds every time. Next, because this is still technically a Vise Stamp, it does indeed work with the Owing Buster. First, we'll activate the Stamping Strike. There's the Rolling Stamping Slash. We'll reset and activate the Rolling Stamping Strike. And the roller can still be used while in the standby phase, though it's just for extra sounds. And there's the Rolling Stamping Strike. And if this does look awkward, that's because it absolutely is. Because it's very strange to have this unusual and unorthodox shaped Vise Stamp on top of the weapon here. Next, we can use it with the Gundaphone for our Vise Stamp lesson. So we just get one of the kind of generic power-up phrases. And finally, even though it doesn't properly live in the grooves, The rolling Vise Stamp technically can be scanned by the direct Vise Stamp. It's just really tricky to use. So I'm going to give it my best attempt here. Well, actually, it wasn't that hard. And that was the Baki Baki stamping fever. And that just basically works by activating this and kind of lining it up with the sensor rather than having it go right against it. And there we go. So overall, the rolling Vise Stamp is definitely the most unique Vise Stamp we've gotten thus far because of how it doubles as a weapon. It does have a good amount of functionality on its own, but obviously it's at its best when it's used with the Revice driver where you can activate those transformation sounds. It is pretty cool that I can scan other Vise Stamps, though it does so in a very limited capacity. And while it does create a bit of awkwardness to using it with the belt and with the weapons, it is still something unique that can be and still be used on its own as its own weapon. So in terms of Vise Stamps, it's definitely one I can recommend, even if it is on the weirder side. But I think because it's so weird, that's what makes it intriguing and appealing. Next time, I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Don Zenkaio and Change Heroes Don Momotaro. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is Kara50, writing off.